but I don't need to yet because we're not at the end. I'm picking a game that I think is really good. Failure is a part of any game. That's okay. May the Lord bless you. Well, he'll bless you too because I'm gonna invade you. All right, Turbles Celbor here with more Fortnite Battle Royale on Nintendo Switch. I am playing on the Arena mode, which is part of Fortnite Competitive. So if you are interested in playing in the ranked mode of Fortnite, this is the way to do it. There obviously is one ranked mode for each style of play. So there is a solo mode, a duos mode, a trios mode, and a squad mode. So I'm playing on solo because I don't have a regular squad that I play with. But basically the way this works is divided into different leagues. I have played a lot more competitive Fortnite on previous seasons, so it reset. So I'm just in the process of rebuilding my level. So basically the way this game works is that you get points for surviving a long time, for getting eliminations, and of course getting a victory royale. So I am playing in the solo queue, which is called Arena. You get points, which is called hype, for number one, surviving for a long time. You get 20 points for eliminating a player, and then you get 50 points for victory royale. So I am going to try to do so. I'm going to try to last as long as possible in this game mode. I'm very close to getting out of the open league. So basically the way open league works is you always get points in open league. You can do nothing but acquire points until you reach open league 4. So typically every time you jump off the bus, it costs you X amount of points. In the case of open league 4, it's 10 points. So you have to at least survive until like level 50. Or until 50 people have died. But basically, in Open League, if you are dedicated enough, you can grind your way through Open League without ever really having to do anything. So I'm at the very end of Open League. I haven't done a ton. My main goal is I am only 45 points away from getting into Open League 4, so I'm going to do that. Well, look at that. Without doing very much of anything. All I'm going to do is try and survive this round. So if you are interested in competitive Fortnite, I highly recommend it. It's much more interesting to me. In the future, you will see on this channel, I will play things like competitive or ranked. I might do Smite, but I'm definitely going to do Pokemon Unite. And when you play any game with any ranked system, the general rule of thumb is the gameplay changes pretty drastically to be optimal rather than interesting. So you'll notice I'm not going to do as many engagements in this run, in part because I want to get points. I'm not really interested in looking cool. So I'm going to shoot for as many points as possible. And that might mean running from a lot of fights. Because while you can get 20 points from running from a fight, you can get a lot more points by just making it to the top 2. So I'm going to shoot for top 2 more than I'm going to be for like shooting people. So, ooh, fog. Fog's good. Fog means people can't see me. And if you're wondering, yes, I have had a little bit to drink. It's just how I am. It helps me focus. Let's see. So this is the Meowsicles Skin, which is a primo skin. It costs like 1,200 V-Bucks. So, oh no, not another quest. I don't want to do quests. I'm playing in ranked mode. I recommend not screwing around in ranked mode because you will often get killed. If you want to play in ranked mode, my first advice to you is never stop moving unless you are sure you won't get sniped. And you will get sniped. People spend a lot of time focusing on sniping. If you didn't notice, a lot of the very beginning, you'll notice that like the number of people is already at 39. That's because typically in ranked mode, the game doesn't wait for 100 people. It's just gonna wait until there's enough people to do ranked. So I think it's like 75. I think it needs a minimum of 75 people on the map. But very, very quickly, a lot of people will get eliminated. So typically in ranked play, you'll see the so-called mid-game, which is the typically the like 70 to about 40 players, goes away by the time the first storm circle is created. So there's usually a lot of death very early. So I'm already in the top 35, and if I'm really smart, I can get to the top 10 without much effort in this rank. It's gonna be a lot harder in the later ranks. Okay, somebody's already been here, so I gotta be careful. Somebody might be here. They've already raided it, so they're gone. Okay. You'll notice in general, I do seem to twitch a lot on the right stick just to change my movement. That's mostly to avoid snipers, and also because I don't want to run in a completely straight line. Yeah, sniping is really common at this level because typically the best way to get a lot of high eliminations in a public match is to focus on sniping. So you will see more sniping at this level. I will not do a ton because I don't think I'm particularly equipped for it, but I will need that, and then I'll ditch this for this. SMG is really, really good right now. This season, for some reason, has really, really good SMGs. You can see it has a pretty tight hitbox, and then on top of that, its range is pretty good, and its rate of fire is awesome. So, highly recommend the SMG. I wouldn't necessarily replace the new assault rifle with it, but it's pretty good. Somebody came here too, so I'm gonna go for both high end. Up to 100. Somebody was here though. I'm gonna ditch the SMG for the shotgun. So just FYI, shotguns are really good at eliminating people at close range. And when I say eliminating, I mean you could potentially eliminate someone with 2 shotgun blasts to the head at close range. I highly, highly, highly recommend that you try for that. Don't use the shotgun unless you're super close in. So I was playing, oh, there we go. Hold on. And he got me. Oh, only 23rd. You gotta be kidding me. I didn't even see him. Whew. Alright, I'm gonna try for another one, but that's only because that was so short. That was so very, very, very short. Oh yeah, for those of you interested, my puppy just got a surgery recently, so she's super done with everything. Ooh, I'm Division 4 now. Wow, I'm in the Open League 4. But yeah, my puppy just had a surgery, so she's super done. She's sitting right next to me. She's wearing a cone of shame, and it's very sad. It was really funny because she was on meds, so she was super stoned. So she we took her out to go to the potty earlier, and she sort of just stared for a long time and didn't go potty. It was really sad. That was not a prompt for you to go potty, my poor puppy. You're just sitting there licking your lips, looking at me. That's fine. I don't promote drugs and dogs, but it is kind of funny. It's funny in a sad way. Same thing with the cone of shame. She can't walk past certain objects without hitting the cone, and she doesn't like it. And because she's also super high off of all the opiates that they gave her, she sort of just doesn't understand what's going on and has to spend a long time processing anything. Oh, that poor dog. It's okay. Okay. So playing in ranked mode, as you saw, I died earlier because I did not shoot enough, and I also didn't build up enough. I simply was not paying enough attention because I was talking. Talking does in fact cause me to die. So I'm actually gonna wait a little bit, and then I'm gonna shoot out. I'm probably gonna go for the lighthouse actually. I really like this spur, and I'm gonna go for it. If you're interested, if you go straight down and then ride the air currents to the end when it forces you to deploy, you can only get about 400 meters. So I'm actually going to shoot sideways as far as I can. I am going to use auto run to get me this direction. If I can get within 400 meters before the parachute deploys, then we're fine. So, believe it or not, where you look does matter as far as how fast you go down. If you look at my upper right-hand corner, you can see my height relative to the first line. So you see there's like a map, and then there's me falling with an arrow, and then there's two lines. It will force my parachute to deploy at the first line, and then the bottom line is where the ground actually is. So I'm within 400 meters, so I can go all the way down now. Okay. So now that I'm within 400 meters, I will be able to actually hit the target. Now, I was slightly off on the map, but I'm just going to go down. So to answer some questions, I received some suggestions via chat. Specifically, somebody suggested I do try and change up some of the gameplay. For those of you wondering, I typically record 4 or 5 sessions and turn that into 4 or 5 videos all in one go. So it's like technically one session, and I tend to queue up a bunch. So if you were curious as to why I didn't respond to a specific question in a video, and it's been like 2 weeks, it's only because I queue up a lot of videos and then I answer questions afterwards. So I don't know necessarily how a video is going to do until like 2 or 3 weeks later. So somebody suggested that I try different types of videos. So often I play solo v squads, and that's principally because the algorithm on YouTube tends to reward solo v squads versus other types. I don't know why that is, but it just does. That's principally why I have been playing one particular game mode, but obviously it's possible for me to play different game modes. I just usually don't for video purposes. Ooh, what is this? I don't know what this is. Why, it's the spicy fish. I'm just gonna stay alive and continue fishing because there's no reason for me not to. There's nobody over here and there's a heavy fog, so that's good. I do have a fishing video, a game where I principally just fish the whole time, and I actually get into the top 10, which is silly. Fishing is surprisingly viable in this game, even though it seems like a weird gimmick. So if you're ever interested in just foraging all your items, you can actually do that. It's totally legit. Alright, let's see what we got here. Ooh, that stuff. To light a fire. Mostly what I need is more. Fog is good, it's keeping me safe, but let me see. I'm still in circles, so there's no reason for me to really be close to shore. I'm just gonna fish a bunch, which is probably really boring to watch, but it keeps me alive while everybody fights each other. And I've already got 10 points, so I'm not gonna lose any rank. My hope is to grind all the way up into at least the upper end of the contender league. I don't think I'm champion material, but I might be wrong. Who knows? Generally speaking, I'm usually better at MOBAs than I am at third-person or first-person shooters. So, my personal belief is that I will not be able to make it to the Masters League, but I will definitely make it into the contenders. Alright, speed boosting. So for those who are interested, if you time your hits right, you actually gain a speed boost. If you're playing on Nintendo, it's of course the B button, but basically the jump button is the thing that allows you to gain a speed boost when you're swimming. So basically you do dolphin dives. So if you notice, when I jump into the water, I'm going to hit B right at the bottom of the stroke, and then I gain a speed boost. You can also hit it right at the top, and it will do the same effect. So hit it a couple of times, but I haven't seen any, it's really weird, I haven't seen any fish. There we go, there's some fish. Mostly what I want is I want some slurp fish. Maybe an item, but slurp fish is gonna go for it. Well, obviously I'm gonna take the purple shotgun because it does more damage. Item rarity is surprisingly not that important in this game. Like, you do get some edge, but the edge is not so much. A skilled person with a gray weapon is going to be able to defeat somebody with a purple weapon every time. Just like some random. Now, if the person manages to hit them, that's different. But I don't think that the weapon rarity implies more damage, but I don't think it's so much more that it's like impossible to overcome. Hello, ammo. I'll take it. That's what I need. Okay, so let's ditch this shotgun. Saw a shield fish. I have a close range weapon already that's purple, so I'm gonna go ahead and... Was that all I get? Okay. I thought for sure I had a shield fish. Oh, there it is. Okay. So I'm gonna ditch the pistol for shield fish. I actually really like shields. I'm probably one of the few players who, or not shields, sorry, pistols. I'm one of the few people who actually seems to like pistols. I think pistols are a good hybrid between range and close, like long range, close range, but it seems like a lot of people don't like them, so that's fine. I'm gonna actually ditch it for this. Corn is better than a full health kit. Maybe that's controversial, but corn you can eat in like half a second. Whereas a health kit takes 10 seconds to use. I would rather be able to heal 20 health in 2 seconds than I would be able to heal 100 health in 10 seconds. The longer it takes to use, the worse it is late game. I'm just gonna hoover up all this building material. Whoopsie. A lot of gunshots going on over there, but this is ranked. And you get more points for surviving than you do for killing people, so I'm going to try and survive. Now the game does penalize you. So ranked play is slightly different than normal play. You get damage if you are sitting around too long and not moving. The game will you will take damage. And the purpose of that is to basically convince you to go fight. So I am actually going to... oh, incoming. Where is this person? There is a web slinger. There they are. That's what the fear got in them, and now they're like, oh my god, somebody's shooting at me. But I'm going to move away from where I was at. And the reason for that is that at this level you can pretty much guarantee that everybody is using the same trick I use, which is the visual indicator where sound is coming from. Virtually everyone is using that. I don't know if that's the case, but I'm like 95% sure that's the case. And so they're gonna go look where that went off. And I'm gonna destroy this slurp truck so that nobody else gets it. Ooh. If you've watched any of my other videos, particularly the Civilization 6 videos, you know that one of the best strategies to any game is to try and disable your opponent's ability to use anything. I'm not saying, like, I don't know if the word Bayesian strategy is accurate in this case, but I will say that generally destroying resources that your opponents can use is useful if you're playing a competitive game. It's actually kind of sad, really, because I feel like my Fortnite videos get a lot more views than anything else I do. And that's partly because Fortnite's a more popular game, but if you're ever interested in something other than Fortnite and you want to try something else, I highly recommend something like Civ 6 or an adventure game. I have several walkthroughs, things like that. But Civ 6 is a very different kind of game, but uses similar competitive strategies. It's just you're using them against an AI. Now I'm going to hold out until the storm comes, because I don't want to die. If you ever want to play ranked mode, highly recommend. You got to think about the game less about eliminations and a lot more about essentially trying to survive as long as possible, because that's definitely what I'm about to do. If I could get to the top 2 just from like avoiding conflict, that's what I'm gonna do. It may not be as exciting to play, but if you're ever interested in playing the game competitively, so I have played several games competitively. It is not about what is cool. It's not about what like is interesting to watch. It's 100% about what will win you the game and get you the most points. And if surviving to the end gets you the most points, the least amount of risk, then that's what you should do. So I'm actually going to hang out here for a little while until the storm shows up, because I want as little space between me and the storm as possible. And if somebody's going to break in here, they're going to have to break through a bunch of walls. So now is the time to talk about strategy in any game. So particularly in any competitive game, sometimes the optimal strategy is one that is kind of dumb. So I used to play a lot of TCGs, and one of the most, I played Android Netrunner, and one of the most optimal strategies, believe it or not, was to basically just blindly gamble at the beginning of the game on whether or not somebody had done a particular thing. So the example I'm going to use for the one person who's watching this who might know what the heck Android Netrunner is, talking about you, friend who has added it. Android Netrunner was asymmetric. It was a living card game, which is Fantasy Flight's version of a trading card game. But basically, optimal strategy for one of the types of decks in that game was basically to randomly, and I'm not joking, basically randomly try and win the game at the very beginning of the game by just like blindly attacking the other player. And it was a dumb strategy, 100%, but it was a highly effective strategy. You could you would succeed or you would fail for sure. Like there was a failure rate that existed. There's somebody over here, by the way. They're hiding in that bush. Okay. They're not hiding in that bush. My bad. But they're around, 100%. So basically the strategy itself is kind of both. It's boring to watch in like tournament play, and I had played it in tournaments. It's a gamble, but you could win a lot of matches by gambling. And this is very true of pretty much any competitive multiplayer game. Sometimes the optimum strategy is really stupid. And in the case of Fortnite, at least at this level, the optimum strategy of avoiding other players and avoiding all kinds of conflict. I'm already in the top 10 and I haven't fought a single person. And that's okay. Like, that's gonna, if you want to play competitive Fortnite, avoiding conflict is often better than actually fighting. Now, granted, in that last level, if I want to get the battle royale, like the victory royale, I'm gonna have to fight somebody. But I don't need to yet, because we're not at the end. If I can get us down to the final 2, and that person fought the number 3 person and took a lot of damage, and then I sneak in and get the win, great. That's what I want. I want to do is I want the last person I fight to be as weak as possible. So I'm gonna stick with the storm, and I'm gonna tell you a top level. I don't know if it's a top level, but I'm gonna tell you a strategy that works really well. So I'm actually gonna try and get on this side of zone, and the reason is that's where the zone moves the least. If you can get your back to zone, the better it is, because it's unlikely that people are gonna be running out of the zone, especially late game. And so you don't have to worry about somebody sneaking up behind you. So I'm actually going to run, you see I'm running at a weird angle. So zone, the storm's going to come to me, but I'm going slightly faster than the storm. I'm going to actually sneak up along the side. I think it's silly sometimes. I've watched a lot of Let's Plays and sometimes people don't explain why they're doing a certain strategy, and I feel like it's important. You can see the edge of the storm right there. I'm going to get into the zone, right? And we're already down to the top 8. I'm going to try to get to the top 2 this game. I can't guarantee I'll get top 1 because I will have to kill somebody, but this strategy generates a lot of points. It's a really easy way to rank up. And then, okay, so I'm already in zone. I'm going to go to the low side. So if you're on the close side of where zone's going to tighten up, you can literally just, generally speaking, there's less players on this side. You can just hide somewhere. I'm actually going to hide in this tree. And then what will happen is zone will cinch up in about 1 minute, and I won't have to move that much. But the other players are going to go fight and kill each other. So if we look at the total map size, it's very small. I can pretty much guarantee you we're going to get in the top 5. Because nobody's going to be coming from this way because it's only like probably what, 40 meters between here and the edge of zone. If there was somebody, they would probably be over there. They can't see me very well because I'm inside this tree. And the most exposed size I got is to this open area that's inside is like the storm's over there. Uh-oh, incoming. Should I attack him or not? He's jumping all over the place. I'll let him go. Down to 7. Right now I get more points from not attacking. I know it's lame, but that's the way it's got to go. Low and you know, some people will say, oh, you know, you should go for high elimination, especially on YouTube. But the reality is that honestly, the optimum play is to avoid eliminations. Attacking other players is a risk. If you played a lot of tabletop games, so I played a lot of Twilight Imperium back in the day, and even now. COVID has made it harder to play Twilight Imperium, but I still play it. Twilight Imperium is probably the epitome example of player conflict is a gamble. And this is actually very true even in Fortnite. Player conflict is a gamble. It doesn't matter how good you are, it's a gamble. And wow, that is really a tall thing. I'm gonna make their lives harder. They don't know where I'm at. That's really sturdy. And they got me. Well, top 6, not bad. So this is a principal example. I got top 6. I didn't eliminate anybody. What are you gonna do? I got a lot of points for that. All I did was avoid conflict. To get number 1 though, you do have to engage in conflict. And the only reason I got shot there was because I started shooting at somebody else. That's all I gotta say.